Hi, Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Nurul Syafiqah binti Abdullah. My number matric 283057. Today, I will present about my research method term paper and the title is Analyzing Financial Behaviors, a study on university student spending pattern with a focus on transportation expenses. Okay, before we go through, this is the summary of the entire papers. The study's main topic is analyzing university students' spending pattern with a specific focus on transportation expense. The study highlights the importance of understanding financial behaviors among students in Malaysia and the potential negative consequences of impulsive spending habits. Financial literacy among students can lead to better financial management, depth of financial instability. The body emphasizes the need to educate students on basic financial concepts and provide them with the tools to manage their finance responsibly. The study that introduced the problem statement, which discussed the challenge university students face in covering their living expense, particularly transportation. It mentioned the limited availability of campus bus service and the restriction on bringing personal vehicles to campus, making it difficult for students to attend classes, engage in class, and manage their clubs and association programs. The study uses a qualitative and quantitative method to gather data from diverse students across the University of Malaysia. The significance of the study lies in the potential to provide valuable insight into how Malaysian university students spend their money on transportation. The findings on contribute to developing better strategies and intervention to help students manage their expense more efficient, benefit university policymakers, and for the students. Okay, for the introduction, spending. A common daily activity involves exchanging money for desired good or service such as food, housing, clothing, healthcare, and transportation. Factors such as age, income, gender, ethnicity, family background, and personality influence individual for spending behaviors. Young people in Malaysia, particularly university students, play a crucial role in supporting the economy. However, impulsive spending habits among younger generation are becoming more common, leading to financial difficulties and reckless spending. The Malaysia Insolvency Department report that 36,520 individuals filed for the bankruptcy between 2019 and 2023, with 39 students being a significant portion for the figure. Lack of financial literacy can lead to poor financial management, leading to debt, financial instability, poor decision, and lack of preparedness for future obligation. Therefore, young people in Malaysia must be educated on basic financial concept and provided with necessary tools to manage their finance responsibly. Problem. What is the problem statement? Okay, for the problem one is large campus area poses mobility issues due to long distance between dormitories. University of Malaysia's large campus area present challenge for students due to limited mobility due to four dormitory areas. Students often use car rental service to manage their mobility, or we call SAPU. The university restrict vehicle usage to selected students, limiting parking and traffic congestion. This limited mobility makes it difficult for students to attend classes and engage in campus university. For the second problem is limited bus service due to the limited usage schedule, and car rental service gains popularity among students. The limited campus bus service at University Utara Malaysia has led to car rental services gaining popularity among students. The limited service, limited to campus area, struggles to accommodate students' need for outdoor activity, leisure activity, field student and managing club, and association programs, causing issue for those requiring transportation outside the area campus. Next is RQ. RQ is research question. Does financial knowledge impact a student's capacity to handle transportation-related expense? Second, does proximity to campus, public transit availability, or car ownership affect on average student transportation costs? Third, do transportation expenses vary depending on the transportation spending? Fourth, does a student spend a certain percentage of their monthly budget on transportation in university? Next is literature review. There are three parts of literature review. First is empirical study, second is theoretical study, and the third is theoretical framework. Okay, this is the review of empirical studies. The summary of the empirical studies is the first one. The financial habits of university students in Malaysia are influenced by economic, social, and policy factors. Students tend to overspend allowance from parents, leading to financial shortage. Financial literacy is influenced by factors like parental income, peer influence, and self-control. Next is free bus tours offered by university help mitigate this cost and enhance the educational experience. Economic pressure extends beyond daily living expense to broader public policy issues. Comprehensive policy analysis incorporating economic, demographic, and political factors is crucial. Theoretical study. The first is ownership transportation. Ownership of a personal transportation mode like a car, motorcycle, or bicycle can have multi-phase impact on a student's transportation expenditure. On the one hand, owning a vehicle incurs significant fixed costs such as insurance, maintenance, and possibly loan payments, which can inflate the expenditure regardless of usage frequency. Second is cost of travel. The direct cost of associated with a various travel option, including public transportation, fare, gas price, and ride-sharing fees, are likely to have a straightforward relationship with a transportation expenditure. If the cost of this option increase, student transportation expenditure are expected to rise correspondingly. Next is income of student. Income level is potentially a strong determinant of transport expenditure. Students with higher incomes may have a leeway in their budgets to allocate towards convenient and comfortable transportation options, which could lead to greater expenditure. Number four is allowance of student. Student allowance, whether from scholarship, family, or their sources, can subsidize their transportation costs. The hypothesis is that higher allowance will enable a student to spend more on a transportation, potentially option for more convenient but pricey options. Next is time use. The time related is to how students value their time compared to their monetary expense. Students who priority time survey may option for faster but more expensive mode of transportation such as driving a personal car or using ride-sharing service over public transportation. And the last one is availability of public transportation. The availability and quality of public transportation can significantly influence transportation expenditure. In areas with extensive, reliable, and affordable public transport system, students might choose to forego personal vehicle, leading to reduced transportation costs. The hypothesis is that better availability of public transportation correlates with lower personal transportation expenditure due to the reduced necessaries for owning a personal vehicle and the associated costs. Okay, next we move to theoretical framework. This is a diagram of theoretical framework. Section 3 is a methodology, and the first one is respondent. This study interviews students from various analysis routes, including those who live on and off campus to gather information and data. The population is this research focus on the UUM Syntax student as the target population for data collection, analysis, and conclusion. Okay, next. This study used non-probability and purposive sampling methods to select students at UUM. The researchers aim to gather information from the entire population without time and expense, focusing on 10 students from each analysis using Cressy and Morgan sample size determination table. For the sample size, the appropriate sample size in research is crucial for ensuring statistically valid and generalizable findings with a different methodologies requiring varying sample size for different research design. Next, for the model specification, we use multiple regression analysis. Next, we use ANOVA. The study explores university students' financial habit, focusing on transportation expense using ANOVA to identify differences across the different student groups and factors influencing spending. For the model specification, we also use Pearson correlation. A linear relationship between two variables can be seen using the Pearson correlation. Useful tools for assessing a degree of correlation between variables in their correlation coefficient. The most popular approach for analyzing numerical data is Pearson correlation method, which assign a value between -1 and 1. A coefficient of value 0 indicates no connection, a value of 1 indicates a perfect positive correlation, and a value of -1 indicates a perfect negative correlation. One way to interpret this is that a significant positive correlation between two variables is indicated by a correlation value of zero point 0.5. Okay, next we move to section 4, that is findings and discussion. First is summary statistics table, second is descriptive analysis of respondent, and the third one is model estimation output. This summary statistic table extensive analysis factors affecting student living agreements and transportation expense. It focuses on various routes, that is route A, route B, route C, route D, and route F. It presents each route's means and data standard deviation across multiple categories like gender, semester, college, ethnicity, financial management, transport preference, and budgeting. According to the table, under the respondent demographic section, the gender distribution is quite constant over all routes, with only minor variation in means values, with exception route D, which is higher than with higher mean, and the semester distribution shows generally similar tendencies. There's some variation, nevertheless, in the ethnicity and college categories. In terms of ethnicity, route F has a higher mean, that is 1.67, and the lowest mean 1.17 for college. Different students take different paths in their studies. For example, students following route D tend to do better in finance courses and understanding management compared to other routes. When it comes to handling money, like feeling confident about budgeting, keeping track of spending, and reviewing budget, there are differences among students on different paths. Route D students generally show higher level of understanding and confidence in managing their finance. The summary statistics look at things like how far students live from campus, how much they spend on transportation, how often they leave campus, and their budgeting habits. Group B, C, D, and F all have a similar view of the longest distance to class. However, Route A is different because it's a lower average cost for transportation. When it when it comes to budget related things like having a fixed budget, a budget transportation, and going over the budget, this vary across routes. It shows that students on different routes have a different ways of managing their money. Okay, for the conclusion, the information indicates that students on various dorm routes are good at their at handling their budgets and are aware of financial matters. Many students use their own vehicles and they generally agree that a certain type of transportation can be costly. While there are some different opinions, overall students share a common belief about money and transportation. Okay, this is a descriptive analysis of respondent. According to the table above, out of the 38 individuals who took part in the study, a majority comprising of 60.5% were enrolled in semester 7 and above, while the second largest group consists of students in semester 5 and 6. And the semester 3 and 4 and semester 1 and 2 limited representation with only 5.3% and 2.6% of respondents respectively. The data indicates the higher participation of males in the survey, constituting 55.3% of respondents compared to 44.7% from females. In the term of college affiliation, the majority at 76.3% were from College of Business, followed by College of Art and Science, and the lowest representation are from the College of Law, Government and International Studies. And ethnically, 30 out of 38 respondents were identified as Chinese, while remaining 8 were Malay. The study also revealed the largest group was associated with Group B, comprising of respondent, while Route A and Route F has an equal representation of 15.8%, and Route C had a fewer students accounting for 10.5% of respondents. Okay, next, based on the table above, most of the respondents are those not on their transportation in university. The researchers obtained 26 responses does not have transportation and 12 responses are having transportation. The pie chart 1 represents a percentage of spending on transportation in a month. There are 39.4% respondents who spend above 101 on transportation per month, which has a highest frequency. Next, 38.95% respondent who has spent 76 ringgit until 100 ringgit on a transportation in a month. This too is the largest frequency who has spending on transportation per month. The other respondent only spend their money below 75 ringgit per month. For the second pie chart represent a percentage of monthly budget of respondent. There are 14 respondents whose their monthly budget is between range of 401 until 600 ringgit, which has the highest percentage of 36.84%. The second largest range of monthly budget is between 601 to 800 ringgit with 21.05%. The third one is the student who their monthly budget is below 200 ringgit with only 18.42%. Next, there are 15.78% respondents' monthly budget is between 201 to 400 ringgit. Lastly, there are only 7.89% who is their monthly budget is between 800 ringgit and above, which is has the lower percentage in this study. Model estimation output. Multiple regression analysis. H1. There is a significance between financial knowledge and transportation spending. H2. There is a significant relationship between transportation and transportation spending. H3. There is a significant relationship between transportation expense and transportation spending. H4. There is a significant relationship between monthly budget and transportation spending. Okay, for the table 1, the change in all financial knowledge, transportation expense, and monthly budget variables are able to explain about 12.9% of the total change in the transportation spending. For the table 2, it shows the result of ANOVA. It shows the significant value was 0.321 and the F-test was 1.221. The p-value of the model is higher than the conventional significance level of 0.05, indicating the insufficient evidence to rule out the hypothesis. Stated differently, the model was might not be statistically significant. Table 3 is a coefficient table for the equation y equal to negative 117.347 plus 14.739 for the financial knowledge plus negative 14.191 transportation plus 46.642 transportation expense and plus 0.566 for the monthly budget. This shows that every 1 unit of the model variable will also increase the transport spending, but only the transportation model, if it's increased, the transportation spending will tend to be lower, about 14.191. Next is the Pearson correlation analysis. The correlation analysis reveals exciting insight into the relationship between transportation spending, financial knowledge, transportation expense, and transportation, and the monthly budget. The data shows a moderate negative correlation between financial knowledge and transportation spending with a correlation coefficient of 0.130. However, the p-value is 0.438, which suggests that the correlation is not statistically significant at the 0.05 level. Consequently, H1 is which suggests that there is no meaningful correlation between financial literacy and transit spending. Is not sufficient supported by the available data. Next, a p-value of 0.554 indicates that the connection between transit and spending is not statistically significant with a correlation between the two variables of 0.099. As a result, H2 is not sufficiently supported by the data, suggesting that there is no meaningful correlation between transport and transportation spending. However, with a modest positive correlation coefficient of 0.310 and the p-value of 0.058, the correlation between transport spending is statistically significant at the 0.05 level. As a result, H3 is supported by the evidence which point to a substantial correlation between the transport spending expenses. In conclusion, the relationship between financial literacy, transportation, and monthly budget with a transportation spending are not statistically significant. So H1, H2, and H4 are not supported. However, there is a statistically significant correlation between transit spending and spend at the level 0.05 level. H3 is supported. For the conclusion, the study investigated the financial behavior of 38 University Utara Malaysia undergraduate students, focusing on their ability to manage transportation-related expense and the impact of campus distance, public transportation availability, and the car ownership on average cost and the proportion of their monthly budget for transportation expenses. Key contribution. The main findings of this paper are follows. 1. Knowledge of financial management can help in managing expense of used transport, but is not valid for every individual because there are various other factors that cause the cost of transport be high in financial management among degree students. Second, the distance from the place of the accommodation to study campus does not affect the student transportation expense because according to the data, it depends on the individual himself how they handle their daily expenses. Third, differences that are not too significant can be seen in management for expenses for transport bags for students who have their own vehicles and students who do not have vehicles. A total of 68.4% students who do not have vehicle and 31.6% of students have their own vehicles. These two groups of students are not too far apart in their transportation expenses. And 4, a detail of analysis of financial data reveals that on average, ungraded students allocate about 16.7% of their monthly budget to transportation expenses. Okay, that's all from me for the research method term paper. Thank you and Assalamualaikum. Bye.